As a broadcaster, our friend and colleague Bob Schieffer's talent has always been plain to see. These days, Sharyn Alfonsi of 60 Minutes explains you can see another side of him, now on display.
Bob Schieffer has not slowed down in retirement. From now until mid-May, you'll find the longtime newsman mingling with the packed Washington crowd at the American University Museum, where he's presented 24 original oil paintings in an exhibit he's titled Looking for the Light.
I just want to thank all of you for coming tonight.
The former Face the Nation moderator has put the pen down for the paintbrush. The collection is Schieffer's new take on the news. It's a project 4 years in the making that began in his Washington, D.C. dining room during the pandemic lockdowns. Oh my, the dining room, huh?
This used to be the dining room.
And Schieffer has been painting here, close to 70 canvases total ever since. The show's called Looking for Light. Tell me about that.
After January 6th happened, I was offended. I mean, to me, the United States Capitol is to American politics what the Sistine Chapel is to Catholics and Christians. It's kind of the holy place.
Take the house!
Did you say in that moment, I've got to paint this?
I did. I did. And I wasn't sure how I was going to paint it or what I was going to do about it. But I had pretty much come close to finishing that painting when Amanda Gorman, the youth poet laureate, spoke at Biden's inauguration.
When day comes, we ask ourselves, where can we find light in this never-ending shade?
And I will never forget that when she said, the light is always there if only we are brave enough to see it. If only we are brave enough to be it. And I thought right there, that's it. And at that moment, I decided I would call this collection Looking for the Light.
You were looking for light in that moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
No justice, no peace. No justice.
The collection depicts events that rocked the nation, such as George Floyd's murder, and international crises as seen in this stark painting of Vladimir Putin, inspired by signs at protests for Ukraine.
Well, this was the easiest one to find a title for. I called it The Face of Evil.
Schieffer collected images he saw in print and on television and gives full credit to the photographers who captured them. Is there something that makes a Bob Schieffer painting a Bob Schieffer painting?
Well, they're large. and
that's the Texan in you, right? Like them big. Schieffer has always gone big. He was the first reporter from a Texas newspaper to report from Vietnam. Then, at CBS News, he covered the Pentagon, State Department, Congress, and the White House. Later in his career, he wrote and performed country music.
Gonna be a TV anchorman.
And hosted Face the Nation every Sunday for 24 years. I can't think of anybody else who's moderated presidential debates, played at the Grand Ole Opry, and now is having their own exhibition as a young artist. I mean, was this the plan all along?
I don't know what the plan was all along. Maybe I'd just like to show off.
Those who know this show-off know he deeply loves this country and the people who changed it for the better. That's why he included portraits of people he admired, including the late Senator John McCain and Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. In your show notes, you say America's always been a work in progress and remains so. Do you think that's true?
I think it is so, and I hope that's so. Because if it stops being a work in progress, we're done with it, and I don't think we are.
The final painting in Schieffer's show shows off his Texas-sized sense of humor. The only note I have is where are the cowboy boots? It's a nod to Norman Rockwell's painting titled Triple Self-Portrait, making this Washington institution a part of the history he paints.
I must say, in some ways, I find this kind of humorous. I'm leading into a new career at age 87. Yeah. 87 years old, and here I am striking out on on a new adventure.
I think it's so Bob Schieffer. No one thought you'd go quietly off to the golf course.
Well, I say now, painting is the one thing that I can do today better than everything else I ever did in life.